Atlantic Sun. Look at this. You see the sweet graphics, youtube.com/thecollegeexerience. So myself, Moneyline Mag, Noah Bieniek, talking Atlantic Sun. Now we should note that the bottom two teams are not allowed to play. Well, Bellarmine's not allowed to win anyway. So why even show up? Also Queens is not eligible, but they are here. Central Arkansas also eliminated as well because they were in 9th place. Or was that 11th place? Whatever the fuck it was. 11th place, I guess. So this is our bracket. You can view this, youtube.com/thecollegeexerience.
I'm boycotting. No Bellarmine, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, it's brutal. It's brutal. How about poor Queens? You show up there and you're like, you could win this, but you can't go to the tournament.
I mean, Bellarmine won 2 years ago.
2 years ago. So. It's ridiculous.
It's insane.
Fucking hatred for my guys.
Stupid NCAA bitches ruin people's fucking fun. How do they ever agree to this? How do they ever agree to that deal? Big Reds is saying super chat is how do you donate? That's a thing. I'm curious. The chat will help instruct you, man. I've never donated because I'm normally doing the show, but I believe it's on the chat buttons right there, like somewhere there. Someone fucking help him out. All right. Someone help him out. Bottom right. There we go.
Somewhere over there.
Yeah. I'm just complete because I'm using a third party platform. So it's not like, I mean, I'm not even looking on YouTube right now. So it's like, what yeah. Anyway. And Mark says, I don't believe in charity. True. Well, actually, no, I've been dealing with, I've had a homeless, I live I'm friends with some of the homeless here in Venice Beach, California.
Some of the stories, right? Patty C's place.
Yeah. Well, also there's one guy, he's definitely a maniac, but he's kind of cool. So, I always say what's up to him. Hope he's doing good. Help him out with a little food when I can. But also I'd say one of the biggest things I help him out with is, he has asked me, cause he's seen me wearing a Sports Gambling Podcast sweatshirt, which, if he can gamble. And I said, dude, I'll put in a parlay for you each time. I've put in 12 parlays for this guy, right? Out of my own money. I said, he didn't even know the games. I had to read him the schedule, right? And I've put in 12 parlays for this guy. He has gone 0-12. So I almost feel like him being homeless is not an accident. You know what I mean? Like he's a cool guy, somewhat. He's kind of a little crazy, but 0-12 on parlays. Remind me to bring that up in a couple months. Maybe he'll hit another one. But anyway, so this bracket right now we're looking at here. Look, the odds are out there right now for the Atlantic Sun. Don't pick like that homeless guy. There is a lot of good shit you can jump on here.
We encourage you to shop around. We're just going to read off one book to keep it, solidarity.
Yes. So I'm seeing the favorite Eastern Kentucky's plus 140. After that, Lipscomb's plus 300, Stetson's plus 350, Austin P plus 900, North Florida plus 2,000, North Alabama plus 2,500, Florida Gulf Coast, the Eagles also plus 2,500, Kennesaw plus 4,000, Queens plus 8,000, and Jacksonville plus 13,000. So, there we go. Shout out to Big Reds. Appreciate you, man. I mean, to me, the two that jumped out to me, I didn't want to go chalk, even though Eastern Kentucky, the fact you can get a 1 seed with that value, it's actually not one of the bad 1 seeds to take. I jumped on Austin P. So the two that I'm sprinkling are Austin P and Florida Gulf Coast. Florida Gulf Coast, I actually believe, has the most talented roster in the whole conference. And then Austin P is a team that I feel like is getting better as the season goes along. So I thought there was some value in the Governors. Those are the two that I did. You can kind of make a case. What's fun about these, specifically this conference, is I would say realistically, Eastern Kentucky, Lipscomb, Stetson, Austin P, North Florida, and I'm gonna say Florida Gulf Coast could all win the conference.
Yeah.
The others I doubt win the conference. Maybe you could talk me into North Alabama. but I don't know. I went with Austin. I sprinkled Austin P at plus 900, and then the Eagles, Florida Gulf Coast. Well, they had Isaiah Thompson injured for a little bit, so I feel like they're just a more talented team than almost every other team. Maybe you could argue that Eastern Kentucky is on that level. Mac, what'd you do here?
I'm going to predict Lipscomb's going to beat Austin P in the championship game, and Lipscomb won 7 out of 8 down the stretch, including Eastern Kentucky in the finale on Friday night that we were on. And I just like the way that this team has played down the stretch. And they lost. Who did they get knocked out by last year? Was Kennesaw State with Abdur Rahim, who's now in South Florida with that group, who's won that league. If I had to do a long shot, I would go Gulf Coast just because we know how talented they are. They've been so up and down all year. So for my long shot, I'll go Gulf Coast 25-1. And then I think Lipscomb will end up coming out of this league at 3-1 in the 3 seed.
I've watched all these teams. I watched Lipscomb beat Florida State at Florida State.
Yep.
To me, the team that when they're on, they're the best is Gulf Coast. Like as far as like when I analyze the roster, when I see them, they have athleticism that you don't find as much in these conferences. EKU would be probably my next as far as like who do I think the best rosters are? Not coaching. Those two teams have guys that I really feel like give them an edge, but then coaching is such a big factor in college basketball, you know? So I think those are my two plays, but I understand your logic on Lipscomb and the fact that Lipscomb won't play Gulf Coast at first. Stetson, that's a bad draw for Stetson. You think it's Stetson at the 2 seed, you know, but watch Queens beat Gulf Coast. Who knows? Noah, what do you like here?
So clearing up on one thing that Colby didn't mention here, all of these games are being played on campus sites. So the higher seed is hosting. And that Kennesaw State Jacksonville game is being played at Eastern Kentucky.
Richmond, Kentucky. Yeah.
I went chalk here. I went EKU. Also, I sprinkled Austin P as my so-called long shot here. The reason why I did both, so the cocktail napkin has rated Stetson second, Florida Gulf Coast third, and actually it doesn't take into account the road games. I wish it did, but Queens is fourth. So I think that quadrant is jam-packed because Stetson, FGCU, and Queens are all in the top right of this bracket if you're kind of looking at it like an NCAA tournament bracket. So I went with two teams from the left side here coming into the championship. I think if I can get one bullet in the championship game, I have a shot to win this. The reason why I chose Austin P as the other team on this side is because they just beat Eastern Kentucky on Wednesday. So they've got the confidence going into the game if they draw the Colonels. So I'm on Eastern Kentucky plus 140 and Austin P plus 900.
Yes. Shout out to Mike giving us $2 and Pooper Bowl says Bronny James should be homeless. It's tough.
Good God.
That
escalated. That escalated.
Kid's a freshman. Relax. I mean, I understand he's the highest paid basketball player in college basketball, and that deserves some criticism. But at the same time, you can't help it that his dad's a fucking legend. You know what I mean? You're born. You're just, oh, hey, dad, you're fucking fantastic. You know, I don't know. I feel like people give him a hard time. Year one, man. Guy had a fucking heart attack like 2 months before the season too.
Yeah, he did. It might be his only year though. That's I think why people give him more shit than anything.
Yeah.